know what it is. You're jealous of me, ain't you? You want to talk like me. You want to walk like me. I bet you'd give your last penny to look like me, wouldn't you, huh? You're going to do it my way. I'm doing you a favor. I'm letting you come up in my ring, say my name. I don't want to have this conversation again. Psst. Get out of here.
Wow.
Hey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a sad Fowl original tonight. A very sad Fowl original. I bring you there hello there, Liam Montgomery. I bring you there the beginning of the show. Top story today. It is the top story today, and it's something I wanted to talk about because I'm a really big wrestling fan. And this is really sad news. I'm happy that I'm wearing these sunglasses. The Fowl Originals Newsround is a show where I talk about the news and bits and bobs from around the world, and things that kind of mean something to me, my news. And this situation has really kind of hit me in a way that I didn't realize it would. Now, today, the way that I found this news out, top news, is Roman Reigns leaves the WWE after announcing he has leukemia. Roman Reigns is a polarizing figure within the wrestling community. That's what we should say. He is someone who a lot of people have hated for a long time, forgetting that that's not a person. I just watched the Simon Miller Why, That's Why, about this, and I agree with him. Like, I didn't think that the wrestling community would come together in a way where they're all like, come on, at the end of the day, he is still a human being. And I didn't think that we could do that. And I'm really proud of the internet wrestling community for doing that, the Twitter community anyway, for not ripping on it. But at the age of 22, Roman Reigns was diagnosed with cancer, leukemia, and I want to bring you the story because I don't want to just rep on it. I wanted to rap on it a little bit, but and normally at this point in the show I would do a shill, and just because of this I'm not going to not do a shill. So as I said, this is still Fowl Originals News Round, the show where you know that you is gonna get a shill. So if you go to fowloriginal.com, you will see my big old bird face. When you see my big old bird face, you can go ahead there and click support the channel. Click support the channel to allow you to be on Patreon. Go to streamlabs.com/FowlOriginalWrestling, which is ingrained into my DNA. You can also click the donate button. If you click this donate button, it'll take you to a PayPal donation page. Once you get there, you can go ahead and say, give me $5. Make it a monthly donation to help support my content on the monthly basis. That's Newsround, Fowl Original Wrestling. That's the Instagram stuff. Hope you like the new Instagram posts and the new kind of direction that we're taking that. Wrestling with motivation every Motivation Monday on Instagram with me's Fowl Original, with an inspirational quote from a wrestler or someone within the wrestling sphere. But I didn't know that I do a show on a Wednesday where I talk about wrestling. It's called the Weekly Wrestling Recap, which you can catch on Fowl Original Wrestling over here on YouTube as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Twitch or Periscope, hello, it is 23rd of October 2018. And I wanted to take you to the story, so let's take you there. It's crazy that this is on the BBC website, like in entertainment news about Roman Reigns. Let's get it actually. Roman Reigns. It's in Newsbeat. It's in Newsbeat. Roman Reigns, and we've got. I don't want to listen to it, folks. Let's go to another source then. Roman Reigns and news, and a lot of people have come to say, here we go. It's from the Express. It's going to be from the Express. Roman Reigns, WWE legend, sends powerful message after Raw star reveals he has leukemia. Roman Reigns stunned the WWE universe when he announced that he has leukemia and relinquished the Universal Championship late last night on Raw. Reigns revealed that he was first diagnosed with a terrible disease 11 years ago, and after quickly putting it in remission, the cancer recently came back. The big dog made it clear he's not retiring, but he has to go back home to his family to undergo treatment, and that's crazy that he's going to go and get the treatment and then come back. WWE Hall of Fame was so heartbroken, Kurt Angle, that he took to Twitter and urged his 1 million followers to be appreciative of their health and life. After watching the beginning of Raw last night, I've come to the conclusion we should all be grateful that we woke up this morning to experience life to its fullest. Make each day count, because you never know what life will throw at you. Hashtag thank you, Roman. And the 1996 Globe Mendes is one of just many superstars. Ric Flair, it's all over Twitter. And I want to take you to Twitter in a second, but Reigns insists when he comes back, it won't be about titles, but to prove that he can overcome anything. The reality is my real name is Joe, and I've been living with leukemia for 11 years, and unfortunately it's back. Very powerful speech promo from him on YouTube now, and I would urge you to go and see it. And he says he's going to kick cancer's ass, and it was a very good. Hello there, Brian. How you doing? It was an amazing promo. I watched a lot of Raw after the fact. As I said, the way that I found this story out was that I went into work and White Vermin FM, shout out to you, White Vermin FM, he has a channel on YouTube as well. He told me, it was like, Fowl, did you know about Roman Reigns? And I was like, no. And he was, I know that, spoilers, I know that someone turned heel last night. And he was like, no. It was like, and he said it with a straight face, and he was telling me this is new information. Roman Reigns has leukemia. I was like, shut up. That's such a stupid angle. I was like, what? No. I was like, that's stupid. He doesn't. And then he was like, no, it's like legit. And I was like, shut up. I was like, he's gonna be back next week or something, whatever. And I didn't believe it, because if I'd seen it there in the moment and I saw like the shots of people in the crowd and you can see them and they're a bit like, is this real? But you can't joke about that. And the fact that the WWE put a statement out there saying that Roman Reigns wanted to say this publicly because he wanted there to be greater treatment and research. But Roman Reigns has always disappeared during injuries, during like mysterious injuries. And now it's come down that when you think about it, those injuries were probably time that he was like, I may have cancer again. And it just puts another spin on the whole thing. And god damn it, Reigns. God damn it, man. Like, you made me feel. When he comes back, he is going to get the most super face push ever. This is just wrestling. We're going to talk about this in more detail on the wrestling show tomorrow. I'm going to be dedicating our first big segment with what I think to all of this. But I thought I'd give you a little taste here on this, because it is big news in the real world as well. So Roman Reigns leaves the WWE announcing he has leukemia. I'm guessing that this will mean that the only reason, and I'll talk about this probably on the wrestling show in the what I think, but from my point of view and in a general, like, Stephanie McMahon has gone on record many times to say that philanthropy is the best form of PR, and if there was any story which would change the general news cycle about another story which we're going to quite slyly slip into in another news, definitely takes a lot of the heat off this Saudi expedition, doesn't it? But I'm not saying that as in it's not real, but what I'm saying is it's a very timely announcement. Very timely announcement. But that changes the match there as well. Another different kind of match. Now, another story, as I said, I'm changing the format up a little bit for this show. So I wanted to talk about this story mainly because instead of talking about the news, and this is something that I felt needed to be kind of said, mainly because it's funny and because I made this headline, so I thought I had to put it in. Grab her by the passport. So this story, Grab Her by the Passport, is of, and I read this in the Metro, which we're going to get to in the Metro moments in a second, but I also read this just out and about. Now, a man from Florida on a southwestern, let's find the story. Here we go. Let's take you to the Twitter version of this. Man who allegedly groped a woman on flight told FBI the US president said it's okay. The man who allegedly made inappropriate contact with a female passenger on a Southwest Airlines flight told the FBI that the President of the United States says it's okay to grab women by their private parts. A woman on a Southwest Airlines flight says a man behind her touched her no less than 3 times. He reportedly told authorities that the President of the United States says it's okay. Huffington Post. Orlando Sentinel. A Florida man is accused of groping a female passenger whilst on a flight on Sunday from Houston to Albuquerque, and later telling authorities that the President of the United States says it's okay to grab women by their private parts. And this is then his arrest. After being placed in handcuffs, and this is amazing because this is now in his arrest report. After being placed in handcuffs, Alexander asked what the sentence was for the charge he was arrested for. Later in the vehicle, Alexander stated that the President of the United States says it's okay to grab women by their private parts. Based on the facts outlined above, the affiant executed a probable cause arrest of Bruce Michael Alexander in violation of Title 18 United States Code USC 2244B as defined in the blah 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 blah. And Eric Columbus. It turns out the FBI will arrest you for groping a woman on an airplane, even if you tell them that the President of the United States says it's okay to grab women by their private parts. And the final tweet that I wanted to read here was, well, 2 of them actually, from Layla Malana Allen. This is what we call leading by example, people. And Ruth Ben Gist. No better comment on the importance of character in leadership. What a freaking story. So the reason why I've put this as my second top story and not the no one is because this is one that's going to slip by, but it goes to show what the mindset of a lot of, and a generalization, straw man, but it just goes to show what people kind of believe. They're like, well, the president, the guy that I voted for, he got away with it and he's president, so you just grab them by the passport. And then if they say no, they're not. They don't know what they're saying. Hashtag MAGA. And I am very sad for that story, and that's the reason I wanted to pop it in there. So we will have other stuff, and as I said, this is the stuff that I like. So if you want to know what I really like, what I really like, then you can go to. Got to get my shills in, folks, before we get in the segments. Got to get my shills in. You got to go to fowloriginal.com. If you go to fowloriginal.com, you will see my big old bird face. When you see my big old bird face, you can go down there, see what's on. So this is, I'm going to quickly show you what's on. Now this is linked over to my Instagram. So anything that I pop up on Instagram will also pop up on here if you don't want to go on Instagram because you don't like it or something. But this is the new Monday motivation, and it's each Monday will bring you a nugget of wisdom from a wrestler. This Monday quote comes from Real Mick Foley, and it is, and I think it's an apt one. You have to believe in yourself, but you know what? There's a fine line between believing in yourself and being delusional. And I'm sure there were a lot of people who thought I was being delusional when they saw me attempting to become a big shot in the world of pro wrestling. Luckily, it worked out. It doesn't work out for that many people. Mick Foley, Wrestling with Motivation at fowloriginal.com. And if you go to support the channel, you can go ahead and click support the channel. It will allow you to become a Patreon. Go to streamlabs.com/fowloriginalwrestling. The easiest way to do that is just click the donate button. If you click the donate button, it will take you to a PayPal page where you can go ahead and say, give me $5, make it a monthly donation to help support my channel on the monthly basis. And that's all the stuff, Fowl Original Wrestling, Fowl Original Newsround, and all the bits and pieces that you done see. But right now, and you can also make it a one-off donation, and if you do, let me know who you are. I'm the Shadow. And I'll be like, that's awesome. Thanks, Shadow. The Hedgehog. Thank you. Now, let's take you to Metro Moments. Today's Metro Moments is an interesting one because I didn't get a chance to get a Metro at the start of the day. So I luckily grabbed a Metro. And this is more of a chat about how I hate buses. But I got on the bus today. There is now at our bus stop, because of stupid college kids, there is a lady who was there, like a traffic lady, like a lollipop lady, to stop the kids from being idiots. And I got on the bus and got the one freaking newspaper I could. Absolutely destroyed. Yeah, absolutely destroyed. And then what I saw then was someone's obviously sketched on it. So this is more of a story about what I found on my copy of the Metro. It's quite nice. It's quite good, actually. Like, I mean, he destroyed it, or she. Hashtag, don't assume. But he put that drawing, "The government will kill you." That's quite apt. And then he's wrote here, effing-ish. I'm not going to swear here on YouTube. But it's about the post office. It's just an ad for the post office. Then I shall send back those shoes at the week. But he destroyed it. So I thought I'd show you guys, because that's the kind of place I get the Metro from the ghetto. Metro from the ghetto. I'm still Metro from the block. Used to have a little, now I have a lot. There's a story here on the Metro about plastic now in all our bodies. Every sample comes up positive in the first test on humans. Toxic microplastics are polluting people's bodies. It's plastic in all of us. Well, I mean, we already kind of knew that, didn't we? There's a lot of plastic in me. This story, which I wanted to talk about, student died in boozy initiation that involved 100 triple vodkas. A student died in a boozy initiation. A post-mortem examination found he had 5 times the legal drink drive limit of alcohol in his blood. CCTV footage, which had been banned by said the event was banned by the university, showed Mr. Farmer falling over, being held up, being dragged along. Dr. Ruben Sahara said if earlier treatment may have saved his life. The hearing in Newcastle Coroner's Court expected to last several days. If this is the same story, he drank vodka out of a pig's head. A boar's head. Also, for those people that like Simon Mayo, Mayo quit Radio 2 as his drive time show is axed, and its hosted is going to end. And he's sad to leave Wogan House, but circumstances change, and juggling his writing and radio has become tricky. His departure follows a listener backlash against Joe Wiley, who joined him as a co-host on Drive Time in January. And an end date has not been set from the BBC. Also, this story, which was MP sexual harassment ingrained in UK culture. Sexual harassment in public places not been sufficiently tackled by the government. MPs have warned it is deeply ingrained, excused and normalised in British culture. Inquiry found evidence of relentless harassment of women and girls in public places, with instances ranging from wolf whistles and upskirting to rape threats and indecent exposure. Guys be pulling out their wieners. Oh. The government committed itself to eliminating sexual harassment by 2030 in adherence to the UN Sustainable Growth. And the action, which should be immediate, includes attitude busting campaigns, criminalising revenge porn, requiring rail operators to tackle sexual harassment on trains, and obliging universities to outlaw it. Well, obviously, sexual harassment. We've also got... I wanted to talk about the Khashoggi stuff tomorrow because there's a lot to unpack, and I didn't want to just not talk about it. And we might not even be talking about it tomorrow. It might be on Thursday, actually. I want to work out what's going to happen tomorrow. But Charity says cigarette John is hypocritical. A tobacco firm that claims it's encouraging people to quit smoking, fantastic, has been accused of staggering hypocrisy. Cancer Research says the Philip Morris Hold My Light campaign is only trying to promote its own e-cigarettes and heated tobacco. Philip Morris says it wants to stop selling cigarettes ultimately and offer alternatives. But the charity said, we would advise smokers to fully give up and not continue to smoke tobacco while using an e-cigarette. But yeah, don't. It's stupid. This is a story, and I'm going to talk about this in a second. Actually, maybe we'll chat about it now. This is in the Metro, where I wanted to show you this picture because Ryanair passenger identified by police after calling woman an ugly black dastard. Delcy Gale was called an ugly black dastard and told, "Don't speak to me in a foreign language, you stupid ugly cow." Now be able to give a police statement about the incident. Footage of the abuse taken by a fellow passenger was captured on Ryanair flight FR015 at Barcelona airport before it left for London Stansted. Essex police said it had contacted on Sunday about a racially aggravated assault. They've had a complaint, and there he is. And speaking on ITV's This Morning on Tuesday, Mrs. Gale's daughter Carol said police advised her that by Thursday they should be coming to mum for a statement, and told Eamon Holmes and Ruth Langsford that she was scared by the man's behaviour on the plane. He was shouting, and he said, "Get this ugly black dastard away from me." I didn't say anything. I was so frightened. I travel a lot, never had this kind of reaction. I go to Canada, I go to Jamaica, and never. It's coming up to a year of my dad's death, so I thought I'd take my mum away for a little mini break. Mum was feeling low now with Ryanair. It's made her feel more depressed. It's sad, so bloody sad, and it's just it's such a sad story. Like, and I don't really empathise with people that much in that situation, but I feel like it is really sad. There's another story here on the Metro as well. Like, the whole page is about racism. Man thrown out of store after race hate tirade, but I don't want to go into that because it's depressing. We've also got, this is an awesome story. Hospital butts out smoking with the speakers of shame. It's hard to hold up the Metro today because of the amount of like destruction that's happened to it. But look, there we go. There's the speakers of shame. And smokers lighting up outside a hospital are being shamed into stubbing out their cigarettes by a speaker system. Staff and patients can push a button to make messages boom at the entrance, which is directly below the windows of the maternity ward. Jeez. One of the 9 recordings played is of a child saying, "Please don't smoke outside our hospital. Excuse me, do you think you can put out your cigarette? Someone's nanny, granddad, mummy or daddy is having cancer treatment today." Oh my God! Like, that's what I mean. I read this. The system was rigged up at Pinderfields Hospital in Wakefield after Mid Yorkshire Hospital NHS Trust banned smoking on all its sites. Facilities manager Ian Brodie said patients and visitors, including newborn babies, have to pass through cigarette smoke at our entrances, which is totally unacceptable. It's vital we take every possible step to discourage smoking. Hello there, Mist. How you doing? And we've also got some more here. Let's have a look at some more of these bits that I've been going through today. We had I got a lot here today actually. With no, that story. Rami Malek says that it's because of his chin that he's been pitched as Freddie Mercury. I kind of agree. Also The Cure, they've been playing their first gig in Scotland for 27 years when they headlined 2019's Glasgow Summer Sessions. The Friday I'm in Love Rockers play at Bell Houston Park on August 16th. Crazy. The Cure. Freaking Cure. We also had school fined after girl with pink hair excluded. A school and teacher have been school and head teacher have been fined for suspending a girl who dyed her hair pink in the Russian city of Perm. Ziniada Agisheva, 15, was excluded temporarily because of the inappropriate tint. A court ruled she was discriminating against and fined the school £590, and the head teacher threw it. Harsh. But this story, a lioness suffocates her long-term mate at the zoo. I mean, even in the animal kingdom, you gotta be careful. Well, they run low. A lioness at a zoo in the US has killed the father of her 3 cubs. Zuri, 12, attacked 10-year-old Niak in their outdoor exclosure before visitors arrived for the day. Goddamn. Keepers tried to separate the two after hearing an unusual amount of roaring, but she had locked her jaws down on his neck until he stopped moving. The pair were housed together for 8 years at Indianapolis Zoo and had not shown aggression to each other in the past. The zoo added in a Facebook post, "Niak was a magnificent lion and will be greatly missed." Oh my God. Like, I mean, that particular story to me said more about, is that lion part of the hashtag #MeToo movement? Was it just enough's enough? And we've also got woman praised after chasing ATM mugger. A brave passerby who saw a robber take £50 from a woman at a cash machine chased him for 20 minutes and demanded he hand the money back, a court heard. Shauna Campbell was praised by a judge after she jumped over fences and walls to keep up with William Jones and called police after he refused to return the cash while seeking refuge at a house in Birmingham. James, 33, from the Saltley area, was jailed for 90 weeks after admitting the August 11th robbery. And that, my friends, is all from Metro Moments. Let's take you to our last part of the night, which is in other news. In other news. Now we've got a in other news, and it's going to be quite quick because these are stuff that I found in the Metro, so probably should go in Metro Moments, but I wanted to talk about the Tommy Robinson thing first, actually. So on Twitter right now, Tommy Robinson released on bail, his case referred to Attorney General. The contempt of court case and former English Defence League leader, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, has been referred to the Attorney General for further consideration. He was jailed for 13 months in May for contempt of court after live streaming outside of a trial. Now, Tommy Robinson, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, the former English Defence League head, the man who has been on a tirade over social media, of all things, and I say this as an Asian man and just a human being, yeah, all things. He has spent time arguing against the Quran, arguing against Hadiths. Some of the things that he says, I find some truth in. Most of the things that he says, I find no truth in, and they're just grasping at straws. And just the fact that his previous incarnation was that of someone who marginalized a whole race of people, humans. I don't like it. And I kind of thought that this was it. He was going to go down. But he has been released on bail. A recorder of London says he can no longer hear the Tommy Robinson case. It is so complex, it needs to be referred to the Attorney General for further consideration before proceeding. I'm in court. Tommy Robinson's case is now to be referred to the Attorney General following a statement submitted to the court on October 22nd by Tommy Robinson's legal team. Cross-examination of Mr. Yaxley Lennon would be necessary for a proper examination of the allegations. All the evidence must be rigorously tested. If a new hearing takes place, it will be in a different format where he can be cross-examined. If there are to be further proceedings in the Tommy Robinson case, they will take place before a divisional court, 2 judges of the High Court, probably not before the new year. This procedure allows for the normal safeguards of contested hearing, unlike today's hearing. This is an amazing turnout, and he founded the EDL. He thanked his supporters at the Old Bailey after a judge referred his contempt of court case to the Attorney General. Their attempts to silence, stop people having the knowledge of the Muslim rape gangs. It's just, the English Defence League founder also told, you are the enemy of the people. And he now aggressive. He's just been given a platform. He says from the stage that he did not intend to commit contempt of court. He's been persecuted and no journalist has been pursued for contempt of court in the same way. City of Police, London Police estimates there were 500 Robinson supporters and 50 counter outside Old Bailey. Make supporters claims of at least 1,500, a wild overstatement. And Robinson is likely to continue gathering publicity and donations during the interim. One former aide estimates that he has made at least £2 million since his imprisonment in May. Money walks, Tommy Robinson walks free. Case referred to the Attorney General. He's been freed from prison after successfully challenging his conviction of contempt of court. It's a very, very complicated story. Very complicated story, and something that will be developing soon, and I wanted to talk about that. But I think, other than this one story, which I'm going to leave you as hilarity from the Metro, though, is man declares himself king and claims independence from UK to get round planning laws. Fantastic. A man who's denied planning permission to build a house is taking his battle to the United Nations, declaring the land an independent country and himself the king. Steve Ogie wanted to build a small home on the plot, but his application was refused. He then declared the land Everland and made himself its ruler. The 46-year-old is now campaigning to have it classified as its own state. Steve took his fight to the Royal Court on Guernsey, who said it could not be a country as it had no population. Steve then tried to argue it did have a populace, worms and insects, which the court rejected. Now he'll be taking his fight to the UN. Steve owns an area of land near Castle, Guernsey, which he renamed earlier this year before declaring it independent and announcing himself as king. He told the court his country would have a population of 5 voting members alongside the insects, and they would all have their own passport. Wanted to build a small home there, but Guernsey planners wouldn't allow it, and I got to the end of my straw and declared independence. I wanted to get my 2-bed home with a flat roof. That's all I ever wanted. The judge said one man can't govern. I've got my daughter as part of the population as well. Princess Evelyn Oglia. She's 8. He then declared the land Everland, made it its ruler, and he's now campaigned. Everland is about 150 foot long and 50 foot wide. I intend to live there. I expect I'll win. I think I'm correct. It should have all blown over in 10 years, hopefully before. They tried to get me with an injunction, but that's been a journey till I can prove I'm a micronation. The judge said, one man can't govern himself. I've now got a population of 5 citizens, and they're all voting citizens. That makes them a population. No one is resident currently, but they have passports and they have a vote. It's a legal document. They can use the passport to get a driving license, but it will only be valid in Everland. 3 compliance notices have been issued telling Steve to stop developing the plot of land, but Steve's ignored them. He argued under the terms of the Montevideo Convention of 1933, referring to a state having a population that was a stable community. It's fantastic. He argued it was an independent state and as such did not recognize the Guernsey court's jurisdiction. And after hearing his arguments, Mr. McMahon, wrestling, retired on his return and said he had reached a conclusion that Everland was not a sovereign nation nor a micronation. And the element of absurdity in the way the argument has been developed by Mr. Ogier, I take the view that any challenge to the jurisdiction of this court must be taken seriously. And he moved ahead with his application for an injunction. And he said it was to prevent Steve doing any more work. It was born out of concerns that he might start again at any time. However, Steve said he's performed to make a formal undertaking not to proceed with any development. I don't intend to do any more work till I can prove I'm an independent country. Send an email to the United Nations and I'm awaiting confirmation. Explained who I am and waiting to hear if I can be considered independent. We've got no players in Everland, so we won't be entering the World Cup, but we'll see where it gets. I intend to fight my corner and defend myself in the courts. Fantastic. Amazing story. Now, top stories for tonight were that Roman Reigns leaves the WWE after announcing he has leukemia. And also our other big story was grab her by the passport. The story of, I guess, the American people now using anything that Donald Trump says as a defense. Now, there are much more that we've missed out there, but this is a half-an-hour show. We like to keep it that way. So I'm going to leave you tonight with, number one, first, if you want to help support the channel, go to fowloriginal.com. When you go to fowloriginal.com, you will see my big old bird face. See my big old bird face? You can go ahead there and click support the channel. Click support the channel, you can go to Patreon, go to streamlabs.com/fowloriginalwrestling. You can also go ahead and click the PayPal button to give yourself a PayPal donation, or to give me a PayPal donation. And you click the button, it'll take the PayPal page. You can go ahead and say, give me $5. Make it a monthly donation to help support my channel on a regular basis. And that's all of the brand. That's Fowl Original Wrestling, Fowl Original Newsround, and all the other bits and pieces I do on Instagram, and anything else I do with the acoustic music as well, which is slowly coming along. I'd like to thank you all for joining me tonight for this show. I'd like to give a really, from the bottom of my heart, actual legitimate, oh my God, Roman, get better, man. Get better. Who will I make fun of? Who will I make fun of if it's not for you? And seriously, though, hopes and prayers, my friend. Hopes and prayers. Not very religious, but hopes and prayers. Good, positive energy being sent your way. That's not... That is me being legitimate. Very, very... I really hope that you're all right out there, dude. You're all right. Come on, man. Just don't you dare. Now, as I said, I'm going to leave you with something that I feel like I have to, which is an old show which I'm going to leave you with because it's just totally, I think, out of, and I might have done it with one of these before, actually. I might have left you with these guys before, but I feel like it's just something that, even though it's totally nondescript, yeah, it's totally something which doesn't even make sense within the show. Doesn't, yeah. I just wanted to show it because that's what I do. Now, as I said, there's going to be some new stuff happening over the next few weeks. Potentially maybe taking on some stuff that's happening. Once we get those confirmed, then I'll come forth with it. Don't want to do that just yet. Obviously, November is on the horizon, and I'll be looking at raising money for mental health awareness and also the reduction of male suicide by the year 2030 by the Movember Foundation. So I'm going to leave you with this, which is a TV show called The Belfry Witches. And it's kind of coming up to Halloween time. Something spooky. Oh. This is very loud. Oh. This has been Fowl Original. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Like, share, subscribe, and help a brother out. Bye.